Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and my beautiful sidekick.
This is Dee.
And we want to say greetings to everybody. All right, for those who are first timers, welcome to the Jolley Marriage Show. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley. This is Dee, and we're the authors of the book Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married for 38 years. Haven't had an argument in over 35 years. Don't mean we always agree, but we got systems that we developed that work, that we don't argue, and we get stuff done. So this book is a mentorship book. We make it clear to everybody we are not marriage counselors, even though we get a lot of folks who call and say, we need marriage counseling. We say, we'll recommend some marriage counseling. We are marriage mentors. And I tell people in my speeches and in the book, every way I can, 2 ways to get to any goal in life: mentors or mistakes. Now, both of them will get you there if you don't give up. We'll just get you there with less headaches, heartaches, knots upside your head. So get mentors. It gets you there quicker and more enjoyment. So get mentors. We are mentors. We wrote a book that helps mentor you.
And a mentor is what?
A mentor is somebody who's done what you want to do and helps you get there quicker.
And we are an actual example.
Yeah, we are.
Follow us as an example. Cheryl says I need to talk louder.
Louder.
You talk so loud.
Yeah. Hey,
That
Terrence.
makes it a problem with the volume.
Terrence says, chase your spouse, not your pet. This book will show you how. Buy 2. Thank you, Terrence. And he's right. Buy 2.
He needs to send us those messages so we can send them out.
Oh, he's so brilliant.
Ex
He's a brilliant guy.
whatever. I was saying to our house guests tonight
Yeah.
that I think that we are shortchanging those people who are single because they need the messages that we have to offer.
For single folks.
For single folks.
Okay.
I mean, we wrote it for specifically for people who are couples, but you know what? The more that we get questions in and the challenges, I'm like, sorry, this could have been avoided if we hadn't ended up with them in the first place. I know this is like, okay, so this is now hindsight. So how do you prevent the divorce if you didn't marry the wrong person to begin with? So I'm saying that sharing the information, whether you are like, I'm in a relationship, what should I be looking for? Or how do I just be a better communicator, how do I analyze people? Just how do I look at situations? Our book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, talks about how we view the world differently, but come to the same decisions at the end.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting perspective to have when you say opposite do attract. But what are the common things that draw us together? And a lot of it has to do with how you communicate and respect for each other. And depending upon the kind of culture that you come from, your household culture, your ethnic culture, and how you are hardwired, that can mean different things to different people.
Right.
So therein lies a lot of the challenges. So it didn't just happen. Now let's get to the question.
Well, I want to say a shout out to King Love 0620, King_Love 0620. Hey, family. Hey, family. Back to you. Senior Terrence is here. He says, yes, D. Single people need this book and the most before they get on the road. Yeah. You're right, Terrence. You're right. And,
so we have to figure that out. Or give us some suggestions. As to
Bryn Lee, the model, says the same thing. So true. We got a lot of single people who are now looking. And, we wrote the book, 10 chapters about the principles that we felt were important in marriage, but we got an 11th chapter, which is for those not yet married.
But the whole book is really how you need to look at relationships. I mean, you say not yet married.
I know, but you're right. The whole
book is that.
Terrence has been saying that for a long time. He says this book is good for single people.
I just really felt like that.
You felt a calling to tell people that because so many people have been reaching out who are single and struggling.
Well, how about those who are and we feel bad because we're not ones who are going to say, you know, he needs a divorce.
No, we're not going to say that. We ain't going to say that. We're not going to say that.
And I feel really bad because now it's such a struggle because you look up one day and you're like, I don't even know this person.
But the principles, you're right, that are in the book would help you, one, maybe heal your marriage. Two, if you're not married, to prepare for marriage. And three, if you got trouble, maybe it will help you too.
Well, you don't have to have trouble.
I'm just saying if. I'm giving you if. I'm giving you a lot of scenarios. If you're not married. If you're married, you want to improve it. Like the question we're going to talk about, or the concept we're going to talk about tonight. Or if you're in trouble and you're married, it is broken and on the way to the
or have another. If you just want to figure out how to become a better, not just communicator, but how to interact with people.
Right.
A better interactor. Is that a word? How to better.
I don't know if there's a word, but it for you, because you're so cute, you can say it. Go ahead.
How to more effectively interact with people.
Terrence says there's a manual for a car, one for the iPhone, one for your television. Why not one for relationships? Bam.
Your relationship manual.
Bam. Manual. Y'all go to Jolley Marriage and get 2 copies tonight.
Terrence, I like that. I'm going to write that down. Your relationship manual. And it should be called your relationship hack. Because today everybody talks about a hack. It's a hack. Here's it. Boom, boom, boom. 10 things. Bam. Bam. You can read it tonight. Yeah. You're making fun of me.
She's so cute. Isn't she cute? I love that little woman. I do. All right. She's so
your
cute.
Your relationship hack. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's from somebody who or a couple who's actually done it, as opposed to sometimes, and I read Psychology Today, I read all the sites to try to get a feel. Well, some of this stuff is just foolish. It's true.
Okay, so and we want you to think about this, because this is a conversation I had with somebody today. Before you get married, I want you to listen to the vows that you take. The vows that you take. Terrence, I believe every pastor should have this book in his or her office. I wish I could make it mandatory. But he's right, because so many pastors have to deal with marriage issues. Now, here are the things that the vow says. I will take you. I promise to take you for rich or for poor, in sickness or in health, for better or worse. That's what people say. And
it really is until it's no longer convenient.
Correct. So we were talking about, this person and I were talking about a relationship with the husband in the book. Well, what brought it up was one of my neighbors passed away this week. Her parents were people I wrote about in the book. Her father had 2 children.
He was a scoundrel.
Well, I'm not going to say he was a scoundrel. He had 2 children.
I said he was a scoundrel.
All right, 2 children with women in the neighborhood.
And his wife stayed with him.
He stayed with him. And when I spoke at his funeral, I did not know about that situation. And it came to my attention as I was getting ready to give the eulogy. And I gave him a great eulogy. I did. Because I loved him as a person. He's a great guy. He really was. He just
was a scoundrel.
I'm not going to call it what it is. But I was so impressed with his wife. And I saw her afterward at the repast, and I went up and gave her a hug. And she could tell in my face I didn't know. And she said something that I have remained focused to tell people who are getting. She said, I kept my vow.
Even though he didn't keep his.
Even though he didn't keep to stay true to her. She said, I kept my vow.
And he lived to tell the tale.
Which is what I told this person. I said, now let me tell you what would happen if I had done that.
I would not dispose of you. Because
you would. After two?
No, because still I could go to jail. I'm not willing.
Oh, you figure out a way to do it without any traces. All right. And so they would all.
We don't know who's going to listen to it. I'd be
And
thinking about it, but I would
and all
not
the people
do it.
would say, "Don't he look good in that box?"
But with the forensics and stuff, they would trace it back to me, so I would not dispose of it. But the things that one could do.
She is funny. You're right, Bree. Brindley, the model, she's funny. Dee is funny. She's a straight, no chaser person. Okay, let's talk about the situation at hand. Have my one-man show in DC starting this Saturday night. Go to thecomebackshow.com to get tickets. The Comeback Show, music, motivation, inspiration, entertainment, uplift to help you get through these tough times with a show that talks about how to turn your setbacks into incredible comebacks.
So it gives you encouragement. And so when you leave, you're like, okay, I'm ready to take them out.
That's right. Thecomebackshow.com. Thecomebackshow.com. All right. So got a call the other day from a gentleman who said, I want to tweak my relationship. We got to tweak our relationship.
And you should say that it was a referral.
Okay. Terry says something. To death do you part, or did he or she depart because the Bible said death?
He's hilarious.
Oh, God. Okay.
You
All
need
right.
to say that his father.
His father called me and said, my son would like to talk to you. I said, son of yours, friend of mine. Done. Call me. He called me and he said, 10 years of marriage. We need
2 children.
2 children. 3 children.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
3
See,
children.
they don't talk. They talk to him.
One is 14 and 2 younger than him. And I said, where's the 14-year-old? Well, they had a child before they got married.
Okay.
But they've been married 10 years. But here's what he said. He said, our marriage has some problems. And you know, I never talk about anybody's name. So you can send me your questions. You can call me or whatever. I won't ever use your name. And so he said, it needs some tweaking. It's off track. We need to get it back on track.
And when you said it to me, I was like, what does that mean?
And I said to him, what does that mean? He said, my wife criticizes me harshly. Often. Let's see what we can do to help that. My wife criticizes me harshly often, and I don't like it. And it's impacting our relationship. I said, okay.
Is she aware that she's criticizing?
That's first question.
Okay.
Let's go back to I don't know.
So our
that was the
is it dying?
Yeah, so I would turn it off for a moment. All right, so
Okay.
my wife criticizes me harshly.
So what does he want?
He wants to get it back on track. He wants to get it like it was before.
So what does that mean?
That means that they were romantic. Of course, I asked him. Of
he
course, I asked him.
does not want his wife to criticize.
Correct.
That's the
Criticize him, and maybe the way she says it. Okay, so we're going to get back into something we talk about often, folks. Most marriage issues stem from some communication breakdown. Somewhere in the communication, there's a problem. How you say it is not always what you say, it's how you say it.
It's probably been there all the time. Here's why I go back to my thing now about it was probably there all along before you said I did.
Well,
Some communication. Here's why I say that.
Why do you say that?
Here's
give me your premise. Give me your premise.
Okay, here's my premise.
Okay.
People's styles of communication are different. And you bring to the table the environment that you came from.
Mm-hmm. Their communication styles are different.
Right.
Okay.
So some people are more soft-spoken in how they disagree.
Okay.
And some people are more, in your face and bumping horns, because that might have been the style that came that they grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in that more romantic stage and they look good and the sex is great, you're not supposed to have sex before marriage, right? All this stuff is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not together 24/7. And you've got cleaned up, you put your perfume on or your cologne, you look good because you're trying to get chose.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to get caught.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to catch somebody, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because you don't want to be alone or you whatever, right?
Yes, correct.
So certain things go unnoticed.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So it's there. It might have been covered up.
Well, that's
but
possible.
It's there.
It's possible. Now that's possible. I'm not disagreeing, but it could grow.
So when you pull the band, when something happens, now you're together all the time, just like we went through COVID, and we had people with questions. Oh my God, I'm with this person, I'm with this man 24/7. I'm married to him. And I didn't know it was such slop. Or I didn't know that he woke up in the morning and didn't do X, Y, and Z, or left his drawers out, whatever. How am I supposed to deal with this? I'm like shocked. Because they really, now you get to see the difference in the cultural styles and behaviors of people.
Okay.
Of them. So what do you do? So I'm saying it might have been their likelihood, but not in a form that was totally offensive to you. But now it's all out open.
Right.
What do you do?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So I don't know if that's the case with this. I don't know if it was there. I don't know if it developed over time. I don't know if.
How come you didn't listen to that?
We didn't get a chance to go into that depth of information.
I'm so sorry.
All right. We just talked, and I said,
What did you recommend for him to do?
I told him what Terrence tells people to do. First thing to do, I asked him a couple of questions. One, have you had any marriage counseling?
And the answer was?
No. Second, do you have any marriage mentors that you can talk to?
And the answer was?
No. Or they haven't. His parents should be. I think they've been married quite a bit long. I think. The two I won't go into it. I don't want to identify.
Okay.
Then I asked him, do you have a weekly date night?
And the answer was?
Oh, absolutely not. We talked about it. We haven't done it. Okay. I said, let me tell you what I recommend. Number one is go watch our TED Talk. That's the first thing I said. I'm good. Now you can go to. I said a marriage counselor is about $250 an hour, maybe $300.
TED Talk is free.
TED Talk is free. I know you got little children, money tight. Go get this TED Talk. Get it free. Go to jollymarriage.com. Watch it. Just watch it. It gives you an incredible principle to help you keep your marriage from imploding. It's just how you talk to each other, how you communicate, and how you work through challenges, difficulties, differences.
It's a hack.
Okay.
One of my favorite words. My new favorite word, HACK. A hack.
Oh, God.
Faster.
All right. Yeah. Lord have mercy. Second, after you get to watch the TED Talk, then get 2 copies of the book. Get 2 copies. Read each chapter. At the end of each chapter, talk about what you learned, each one of them.
And there's no right or wrong answer.
Nope. What you learned.
And it'll be interesting because what one might see will be different than what the other person
That's
sees.
right.
And that goes back to my premise of you will see based upon the filter of what you brought to the table.
So I said, look, this is an inexpensive way to get started in this process of healing, fixing, developing a better marriage relationship.
So can we get to some specific?
Go to specific. I know you got. I know you got some points that you want to bring to the floor.
Okay. So here's what, and mine will probably be very different than yours.
Okay.
So here's what I'm saying. Under the topic of how do I tame my spouse's harsh words?
Oh, by the way, that's the name of today's subject. How do you tame your spouse's criticism, harsh words, and criticism?
Because it suggests that you're going to do something to try to make the situation better.
Like taming a lion?
Smooth feathers. Or maybe like the elephant, the lion. The elephant is
how does the lion
big.
Show me again.
No.
Show me one time.
I'm not.
Show me again. How the lion come on that? Come on.
No. And the elephant is this big thing, but it's held in check by a little ankle chain.
Okay.
And so this great big thing, which is bigger than you, but you get it to cooperate until eventually it will respond to you without the chain around its neck.
Okay.
Because it's a different. So they're not beating it. Or they're using their interpersonal relationship and how they treat this animal to get them to the point where they are willing to cooperate.
Willingly. Remember, speak up. Don't
willingly. You want them to willingly cooperate. So here's what I said first. When first I thought about this, I said, I would start with myself.
Okay, so if the spouse was talking to you poorly, you'd start with yourself?
I would ask myself, yeah.
What would you ask yourself?
What am I doing? I would ask myself, what am I doing specifically that's causing him to behave this way? I would analyze myself first. Him or her. Well, I'm a woman, I'm married to a man.
All right.
What am I doing specifically? I would question myself first.
Okay. That's what you would do. I wouldn't do that, by the way. We have difference on this. I'm gonna tell you what I do in a moment. I'll let her talk first. Go ahead.
Okay. So I would question myself. Say, what am I doing something different than what I have been doing? And where did this come from? That's what I would ask myself first.
Okay, go ahead.
Right?
All right.
So then I would say, I would ask my mate, you said I am behaving this way. Why do you say that? How am I acting differently? Because I'm thinking I might be acting one way. You're thinking I'm acting another way. So I need to get from you, how am I acting now that I didn't before? Because you weren't criticizing me before.
You weren't harshly criticizing me.
Correct.
Okay, what made it? Okay, but you're on the right track. Go ahead.
On the right track.
All right.
Okay. And then I would consciously say, you know what? I'm going to put my ego over here because I love you enough to want to make this as pleasant and as meaningful experience as possible. How about that?
That's good. That's good.
Put my ego aside. So then I'm going to say, I feel this way when you say that.
No, we on it. Well, now you're tracking now. You're tracking.
I know, but the other stuff had to come first. I don't just hop in. I feel like this when you say that. I feel this way. Are you aware that that is how this makes me feel? And get a response. That is what.
Okay, that's her.
Then to hurt them later. When that, and then hold the other stuff for later.
Oh Lord! You know she's a gangster. She seems like she's sweet.
I would do all that I could.
All
right. Hold the switchblade for last. Anyway.
The piano wire. All right. So let me tell you what I'd recommend. Number one, if your spouse is harshly criticizing you, I go back to what we talk about. 4Fs. Be friendly. Be friendly. Start off friendly. Hey, look, we need to have a conversation. Be frank about your feelings. That's the second F. Be frank about your feelings. When you criticize, when you talk with such daggers.
Vitriol.
Vitriol.
Is that that's a college
Here's
word.
how it makes me feel. Here's how it makes me. One of the words you say, it makes me feel devalued.
But here's the thing.
I'm talking. I
need to interrupt you. Can I please interrupt you?
All right, go ahead. For you.
So this gets to ego. You cannot say, this is how that makes me feel, if your ego won't let you tell your spouse what is on your heart.
Well, that's true,
So
but that's why men is
important.
that's why it's so much harder for men than for women, because men have a hard time saying you hurt my feelings. But anyway, here's how you do it. First F, be friendly, go with friendly. Be frank about your feelings. This is how that made me feel.
You have consciously put your ego to the side.
I put my ego over here.
Okay.
All right. And then third is be fair. That's when yours comes in. Ask why. Why do you say it like that?
Oh, what am I doing?
No. Why? Not what am I doing? I'm not gonna put it on me. Don't do that. It's
You don't want to put it on yourself?
no. Why do you say? I'm not gonna give any excuse, why, what did I do? No. It's about what makes you, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Well, that I'd rather them say it, but I'm not going to give them that answer. I'm not going to lead them down that path. I'm going to say, why do you do that? Now, they might give something I did, something I said, something that that teed them off. I don't know, but it's that communication and being open and honest. And then 4, be friendly, be frank about your feelings, be fair. Listen to this side, and then be focused on a win-win. Look, we got in it to win. I want you to win. I want to win. I want us both to win. That's creative. Now, what is Terrence saying? Because Terrence is sowing lots of stuff here. He's saying, where there is no wood, the fire grows out. Why does my ego keep following me in the other room?
The ego is so powerful.
Ooh, folks, men, it's harder for men to say my feelings are hurt. It really is. But if you can get to that. Now, I was telling a cousin yesterday, just as an aside, my brother died 20 years ago. But a few months before he died, my mother sent us and we were at odds. Okay, we were at odds. And my mother, in her wisdom, because she was on her last days, she said, "Go and represent me at a funeral in Charlottesville, Virginia." So my brother and I had to go together. We hadn't been together singularly, without wives and family, in years and years and years and years. So we go to Charlottesville, and on the way we talk. And he says, I said, let's just have an open and honest conversation. And he said, well, look, when you did X, it teed me off. And I really didn't like it. And I listened. And when it finished his sharing, I said, you know what? I apologize. That was not my intention, but I'm sorry that was what happened. And that just not my intention. I apologize. He accepted my apology. And I said, now, let me tell you what you did that teed me off. And he listened. And at the end of my diatribe, he apologized and said, I'm sorry, that was not my intention. And for the rest of the trip, we got to the Charlottesville, went to the funeral of an uncle and mom wanted us to be at. On the way back, we stopped and had chicken and waffles at Waffle House, and we laughed. And we had not had that kind of togetherness since we were kids. When we were backseat of the car, mom and dad in the car driving, we had not had that kind of camaraderie. And from that day to his day he died, we were good. We were good. We had no more argument. We had no more strife. And here's what I'm saying to you. We healed our relationship, which could have gone south, by 1, being friendly, being frank about how it made you feel, being fair, listening, being willing to apologize if somebody's feelings.
Putting your ego to the side.
Put it aside. Say, I'm sorry. And we went to this wedding not long ago. It was so profound. We're a little over time, but I got to give you this. It's profound. The celebrant, the preacher, said to the groom, repeat after me. Oh, no, he said, will you? No, he didn't repeat that. He said, do you think you will ever make your wife angry? He said, yes. Is that in your intention? No, it's not my intention. Do you ever think you'll give her pain or cause her pain? Yes. Is that in your intention? No, it's never my intention. And so what happens is, folks, we got to realize that stuff happens in relationships. That happens. And people get hurt, they get angry, they get discouraged, they get depressed.
So you're saying part of
Find
it
out
is
not
what
your
is the
intention. What's the intention
of the words,
of what you're doing? It might have come up, or might have ended in anger or hurt or pain, but that was not their intention. We've never had an intention to hurt each other. Now, we don't argue. We haven't had an argument for 35 years, and we don't even get there. But we developed the systems, and it worked. But I'm just saying intentionality.
And it takes time to refine it.
So Terrence says, a legitimate I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm sorry. Then some keep doing sorry things. You're right. There are some people who do not live up to it.
Might not be to be sorry, loving, and
right. All right, so our time is up. I hope you got to your point, but if you didn't, well, we'll maybe talk about it another time. Folks, if you got an issue, you want us to address it, to give you some points, some mentorship on this, send us an email at info at williejolly.com. info at WILLIEJOLLEY.com. And we'll never say your name. We'll just discuss it and hopefully it will help you. That's why we're here to help you. We also want to let folks know we are planning to get sponsors. If you know any companies who want to be a part of and partner with us on this marriage show, we are looking now to start getting sponsors so that we can take it to new platforms. Television primarily. They'll do this, but also add television. Third, we know that many have asked about us doing a marriage event, and we just got to find time. Right now, we focus on my one-man show.
Time and sponsor.
It's my sponsor, but right now right now we focus on the one-man show.
So it'll be 2024. A couple of things. This is the beginning of the last quarter. The first
Tyre, Sirach, Purify Love, the poet, blessings to you. Thank you. And Terrence says, tell me what it's like to be a friend of Terrence. Only you can explain. We think Terrence is awesome. Okay, what were you going to say?
This is the first day of the fourth quarter of the year as we prepare our taxes so that at the end of the year, like, oh my God, it's a mess. Start working on your deductions and getting your ducks in order, husband and wife, and then putting them together if you file a joint return. So this is the first day, business day of the fourth quarter. Medicare open enrollment starts on October 15th. That's going to run through December 15th. That's a whole nother, I read all this stuff. Medicare Advantage, oh my God, you really need to evaluate that. Columbus Day is coming up.
Yep.
Columbus Day is also now Indigenous People Day, which is Indians, right? So that's all I got to say about that.
All right.
And thank you for joining us this evening.
Tiffany Lancaster, much love to you. Wow, I'm glad to see your name pop up in. Thank you. Thank you for all of you who watch. Thank you for all the people. I played golf today with David Yarborough. He said, man, I love seeing you and your wife online. I said, y'all see it? He said, man, everybody's talking about it. All over the place. Y'all are helping marriage. It's just blows my mind. It blows my mind that so many people watch this, and I'm grateful. Hopefully it's helping you. Feel free to send us your notes.
Send a comment or something.
Yeah, let us know that it is
not in vain.
Yeah, that is
the Jolley hacks. That's what we're calling it. The Jolley hacks.
Oh, here's our new thing. When she finds something, she just that's it. Thank you, Terrence. I think I could write off the cost of the book on the mental health insurance. I hope so. Everybody go.
There are not enough mental health people around.
Jeremy Washington just sent a quick note. Thank you, Dr. Jolley. We really, really appreciate the show. Thank you. We want those kind of notes, so y'all can send us info at williejolly.com. Let us know you appreciate it. We're glad to hear it because it encourages us to keep going. We've been doing this just to help, but here's what we do find. People who have called us and said we were on our way to divorce. We were at the divorce court. We had signed the paper or were about to sign the paper, and somebody said, read this book, both of y'all. Bought 2 copies.
Bless them. Give it to somebody.
Give it to them. Gave them 2 copies. Said, read it before you sign the papers. And that couple and many others have torn up the divorce papers and are doing well because it's usually the little things that are not addressed that continue to get bigger. We want you to win in your marriage. Thank you, Brinley, the model. She said, great show. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Kazeras, our friends. Thank you, Gladys Pemberton, wherever you may be in the world. She might be anywhere. And thank you all. All right. Well, October, come to the one-man show here in DC, starting
every Saturday,
this Saturday.
7th through November 8th. Every Saturday from October 7th through November 18th.
Right. Go to thecomebackshow.com to get your tickets. It's a small venue, so once it's sold out, it's sold out. But go to thecomebackshow.com. And if you're in the DC area, I'll be on Fox 5 on Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock hour. All right. I thank y'all. Time for us to leave and go home And hope y'all have a great week.
home. We're at home.
I hope this will come back home. There you go. All right, we out. And here's our music from the One Man Show.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.